Okay, here we go. I'm recording. All right, welcome. I am Dr. Jen Horton, a family doctor practicing functional integrative medicine, and welcome to my mini wellness workshop. My intention is to do these periodically to give you ideas, seeds, suggestions. Also maybe have a little bit of a conversation about what works for me, what might work for you, what barriers are in your way when it comes to self-care, because now more than ever, I just think that self-care cannot be optional. I've heard this said several times, and maybe you have too, but you know that when you're in an airplane with a kid sitting next to you, they always say, you know, please put on your oxygen mask first before you assist the child. And that seems like common sense, but sometimes I feel like that's not what we do, especially maybe as women, caretakers, lots of hats and roles. So, hi, Katie, welcome. So my intention is to just give you some ideas so it doesn't seem like this huge, gigantic thing. Also, you know, just because of the world we're living in, and if you've followed my emails or some of my other classes and content, I've talked about just how stress can affect our health, and in particular our immune system. So there's lots of ways we can kind of boost up our immune system. And so I'm going to talk about some of the self-care practices that I use today to do that. So this is a slide that I know, some of you guys have seen. And if I just want to make sure that can you see that, or are the pictures covering it up? If everything's cool, but if you can't see it, please just maybe shoot me something in the chat. Keep going back to that. So basically this is a framework I use when I talk to patients, but I think it's very applicable to what we're talking about today. And it's just the idea of how our body and our physiology is connected and why we need to pay attention to stress so much. So if you look at body system 1, that's kind of our stress system. It's modulated mainly by our adrenal glands, and those are teeny tiny organs, glands that sit on top of our kidneys deep in our flank area, our sides, okay? And they, you know, turn on when they're supposed to in terms of getting us out of stressful situations. I mean, just evolutionarily, you know, when we were running away from the saber-toothed tiger, our adrenaline would go up, you know, blood would go to our muscles. We would take blood away from digestion. We would take blood away from reproducing, kind of non-essential or less essential parts of our body, so to speak. But the problem is in 21st century, because we're often in that stress hormone response, that running away from the tiger chronically, those hormones are on all the time. And major events can kind of tip us over the top, so to speak. And I've said before when I've spoken that, you know, my concern is COVID might be on that list of those major events to the right. Because over time, what's happening if those stress hormone levels are running high, it's starting to impact the lining of our gut. And there's a special antibody there called secretory IgA that is basically, it's kind of like the first line of defense in our nose, in our mouth, in our GI tract, just in all the linings of our body, and it keeps bad things out. And so if our stress hormones are high, it's going to start to break down that lining, and it starts to kind of kill off those antibody levels, so to speak. And again, that's how we can get sick. We can get exposed to things that are passing through our system that should just go right on out. But if that gut layer is impaired, that's not a good thing. And that last little box is just a reminder that our detox system, mainly housed in our liver, tries to kind of catch up when that gut gets overwhelmed, but eventually it can also kind of get overwhelmed, and people can have more serious health issues if that happens. So my point of this slide is just to show you that stress hormone bubble, and we're going to just talk about ways on a daily basis in small increments we can impact that stress hormone bubble. so it doesn't cascade to those other problems. So I'm going to talk about something called the bookends of your day today, and this is based on a book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. It's a quick read, but it's just about, you know, how you kind of take little things that you do every day and how over time that turns to be into a domino effect to affect bigger changes in your health, in your personal life, work life, whatever you're working on. So it's I'd highly recommend it. I will also, and I will send you this PDF after today's class. This is the idea, the concept I want to talk about today is your AM and PM bookends. And in that book, Darren Hardy speaks about this. I'm going to give just a quick shout out that this drawing, this handout is from the website optimize.me, which if you've not checked that out, I would highly recommend it. It is a wealth of information. I kind of call it the Cliff Notes version of positive psychology, nutrition, behavior change, mindfulness, production, or productivity. You know, it's the founder of it, Brian Johnson, will basically summarize, and he has a whole bunch of offerings, but he'll summarize books so you can just kind of listen to a snapshot of them, and that's how I decide what I want to read or maybe learn more about. Then he takes these into bigger things like productivity 101, meditation 101. I mean, I recommend these all the time to my patients. He has a little daily email thing that you can get where he just gives you a little nugget idea and kind of riffs on it for a minute to 3 minutes. So you can try it out for, I think, at least 2 weeks, might be a month right now, but it's really inexpensive as well. But again, I cannot, if you're really looking at ways to, you know, what should I be reading? You know, I want to, you know, work on this part in my life or my routine or my nutrition. It's just a wealth of information. So this is from his optimize.me site. So going back to AM and PM bookends, in that book, Darren Hardy basically says, you know, if you look at your life and your day, you have a lot of roles, you have a lot of responsibilities, but often it's the morning and the evening that you know, theoretically have the most control over. And again, depending on, you know, if you're a parent, other responsibilities, you know, sometimes that gets crowded over, but, you know, you at least have 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes before bed to do something. And if you don't, then I think that's a bigger question. Maybe we need to be looking at why that is. And this is where I really would say, if you're not doing much self-care, if you're feeling really stressed out, this is what I'd like you to look at. And maybe you only look at one of these. Maybe you just start with mornings before you start night, or maybe night is easier. So I want to walk you through what that might look like and what mine looks like as well. So this is a quote from Darren's book. He says, if you want to sail your life in a new direction, you have to first pick up the anchors of bad habits that have been weighing you down. The key is to make your why power instead of willpower so strong that it overwhelms your urges for instant gratification. And there actually is some science about willpower, that we only have so much, so you can only like muster your way through things to some degree before, you know, your brain just won't let you do that anymore. So again, if you're thinking about incorporating more self-care, let's talk about, you know, why, and really making that powerful. Okay. Any questions right now? Okay, really quick. I'm trying to get out of this because I want to show you. That's later. Hold on a second. So I do, sorry, now look at my desktop. I needed to be cleaning that up. So basically I have an ebook I wanted to show you from my website, and I had it up, and where did it go? Sorry guys, I had this all ready to go. No. All right, hold on one second. Well, I'm going to show you how you can go to my website and get this because I gotta download it. If you go to my website, I have a ton of resources on here. Actually, okay, hold on a second. Sorry, guys. But I have a meditation one there. I have something on essential oils. Here we go. All right, can you guys see my screen? Everybody good? I guess if you can't, let me know. So this is an ebook that you can download. And this is about kind of how you can craft your evening bookend. And again, you could apply this to a morning as well. I would say I start with my morning because since I have kids, I have more control over my mornings because I can get up early. Can you guys see this? My thing is telling me that maybe you cannot. No? Hold on a second. Sharing is pause. Come on. All right, here we go. Now can we? No? No, okay. Oh. Your body falls apart. No.
Hello?
Yeah, okay. Can you see that? Yeah, the grass is greener. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep going because I haven't heard a no.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, thanks. Sorry. Anyways, so again, this is something you can download. It's just a little ebook. But again, first thing is kind of just asking your why and what you're trying to do, and keep it small. Don't start from say I'm going to meditate for an hour a day or journal for 3 hours or whatever. But start small. So for me, my meditation practice is what I basically wake up and do first thing. It's a non-negotiable, and there's scientific studies that show, I don't know, if you do something at least 21 days, 30 days, 40 days, you start to really ingrain that habit. So identifying your why, which is kind of what I detail here in this evening wind down and reset. Number 2, figure out, define what it's going to be, define a space, again, so if you're going to get up and read maybe something or pray or read, something that is meaningful to you, just define that and then create a space. Again, I have a meditation area. I have my diffuser, I have my oils, I have maybe some crystals, I have my cushion, I have a blanket. I mean, make it really cozy, make it, if you're going to do reading or journaling or even just having a few, breaths before you launch into your day. I can't tell you how much of a difference it makes if you start your day like that than if you start your day just looking at your emails and your social media and what you have to do for work. So again, this is specifically for evening, but I would apply the same process to morning. 3, digital sunset. Obviously that's not morning, but again, can't emphasize the importance of just taking a break from all of our digital media, especially these days. there's just a ton of science to show that the light from our screens messes with our melatonin. So melatonin is a hormone that helps us relax and sleep. So, you know, at least 30 minutes before before bed, ideally an hour. Sometimes I've seen some sources say 2 hours, especially if you have any sleep issues. And I think the point is too, if you're going to do like a morning practice or something in the morning, you've got to plan it the night before. So like your morning starts the night before. And so I think a digital sunset is still relevant if you're looking at the morning. And again, just looking at then what does your evening look like? If your goal is to get up 15 minutes earlier, you know, what needs to happen for you to do that? How can you go to bed a little bit earlier? How can you relax? And here I just talk about some evening wind down practices. I mean, Epsom salt baths with lavender is amazing. Sometimes people will do like a brain dump where you just like write all your to-dos for the next day. You look at your schedule for the next day. So as you're falling asleep, you're not thinking of what else you have to do. A gratitude journal is an amazing thing. There's just a ton of science to show that and writing down is, I think, more powerful than just thinking it. Actually, even just doing a gratitude journal once a week has been shown to, you know, improve people's levels of happiness. So again, just decide, and you don't have to do all of this, but these are just ideas. You know, what can your evening look like so that you can do something in the morning? Because ideally, I feel like those two bookends can really kind of give your nervous system a mini reset. And over time compounds and you have more, you know, you see those ripples in the rest of your life. And the last part is, you know, maybe you incorporate some type of guided meditation. I've talked about Insight Timer before. They have, you know, thousands of free meditations. There's something called a Yoga Nidra, which is basically a guided body scan. Yoga Nidra means yogic sleep, and has been shown that when you do a Yoga Nidra, it kind of gets to a part of your subconscious brain that makes suggestions or wishes, intentions, kind of plants them in that part of your brain, so to speak. So, you know, even if you're just, you know, wanting to sleep, you know, I sleep more restfully, or working on some type of habit, even just saying that statement to you at the beginning to yourself, the beginning of the Yoga Nidra has some science to show that over time, it can help to kind of change your brain, so to speak, which is kind of cool. Okay, any questions about that? Okay. But like I said, that's at my website if you want to download that. All right, I'm just going to go back to my slides really quick. And I can send you this one too. This is out of Darren Hardy's book. It's just about kind of just breaking it down, you know, trying to get you, you know, out of the rut of doing the same thing all the time. So but you've got to ultimately decide, you know, what you're trying to change and what and how and why, and then define the behavior. So again, maybe it's, I'm going to craft an evening wind down, or it's going to be, I'm going to start something small in the morning. And then write down what are the things that are getting in the way of your success, and what can you do to sort of shift those? And you just keep coming back to that. And I think I apply a lot of this to starting a meditation practice, because now more than ever, if you're not meditating, I just think there's a huge void that's missing. That again, meditation, I mean, it's essentially, it's free, and it just does so many amazing things for your brain. It's just a no-brainer, no pun intended. So I'm going to walk you through a little meditation at the end here, but just a shout out to why physiologically meditation is so valuable. Again, like I said at the beginning, we think of that saber-toothed tiger running response, and that response over time just wears our body down. So basically meditation, the short answer is, reverses all of that. It lowers our blood pressure. It makes our blood less clumpy, less sticky, and clumpy, sticky blood is what increases your risk of heart attacks and strokes. Again, it keeps that lining of our gut nice and healthy and strong. It keeps that antibody level, that secretory IgA high. It increases parts of our brain that are involved with just focus and concentration and memory, and it kind of shrinks and it makes less significant parts of our brain that are involved in kind of freaking out. So even if you don't have any health issues, it still can benefit. But most people have something they're trying to work on. And then meditation just has so many positive effects that, you know, it just needs to be part of your life, I think, to be optimally well and stay well. And this is just a shout out to some of the research. You know, they did a study, basically 8 weeks, 30 minutes a day, did MRI scans, and they showed that those parts of the brain that I alluded to before, the memory part got bigger, the freak out zone got smaller. And so that's pretty powerful that you can change your brain. And we were always taught in medical school that, you know, your brain was it, kind of lost some neurons as you got older, and that was it. But now this is just kind of exciting news that, you know, no matter what age you are, you know, you can change those patterns. You can change, you know, boost your memory, boost your mood, improve your sleep, you know, without the use of pharmaceuticals. Okay, any questions? All right. So I'm going to get out of that. Let's go back to my speaker view, hopefully, or not. One of these days, I'm going to be like a total pro at this. I don't know how to make me bigger, but that doesn't matter. So I want to just walk you through an exercise, a mini meditation as we close out here, called 16 Seconds. So David G, and that's David G, J-I, no spaces. My husband and I have done 2 different meditation teacher trainings with him. And this is something he teaches worldwide. He teaches it to the military, police, yogis. I feel like it just is a really nice entryway into calming down and resetting. So if you'll, hopefully you're in a quiet place and you can get yourself comfortable. You can lay down. This will only be about 5 minutes. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, you can do that too. And I just want you to first just kind of notice where you're at right now. Maybe you've been rushing around a lot today. Maybe you started your day in that stress response feeling. But I want you to think about something. And again, the thoughts will always be there. But as you practice this, the thoughts just don't bother you as much, and they do kind of slow down a little bit. But I want you to think about something that is mildly annoying to you, not like something major, something you've been ruminating about, but maybe there's just been some annoying little thing today. Just see it. I don't want you to fixate it too long, but just something that's bothering you. And just notice that for a few seconds. And now I want you to kind of shift your attention from that. And I just want you to start focusing now on your breath. And just noticing the breath as it comes in through the nose. And it fills up your lungs. Just watching it. And maybe you notice you're feeling a little tight. Maybe you notice you're still thinking about that annoying thing. But come back to the breath. And just see the breath. Just imagine it as it's coming in through your nose, down your throat, into your lungs, and coming right back up again. So your job is just to listen to my voice and to focus on that breath. Now with this next breath cycle, as you see it come in through the nose, throat, down into the chest, just let your belly expand. Feel your belly button expanding from your spine. I mean, really feeling like your belly is kind of like a big balloon, and then squeeze it back out again. So seeing the breath, following it as it comes in through the nose, down the throat and lungs, feeling that belly expand, and squeezing it all back up again. Now just notice, without a lot of thought, without a lot of commentary from that brain, just notice the breath. Perhaps it's a little slower, a little bigger. Maybe your body's feeling a little lighter, softer. So with this next breath cycle, as you inhale, I just want you to pause at the top for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. And pause 1, 2, 3, 4. Just doing that again. Inhaling. Pause. Exhale. And pause. Again, just depending on your breathing pattern, maybe you hold it a little less or a little longer. We're just trying to add that little pause at the top and at the bottom again. Just take 2 more cycles like that. When you're done with that last exhale, just release that breath pattern and just come back to your normal cadence. Eyes still closed. Just notice. Just notice your face, your body, your breath. And in that time, hopefully, that little annoying thought was kind of in the background or has floated away. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. So, you guys have how you feeling? Any feedback? So again, that's 16 seconds. You know, ideally it's, that's a little practice you can do, you know, on a lunch break, in between work duties. Sometimes it's just nice to do as you're closing out your day. Perhaps that's what you do in the morning or in your evening as part of those wind down routines. So I just wanted to just give you a little flavor of some ideas that you could incorporate or perhaps come back to, just to help with your self-care routines. You guys have any questions or any feedback? What's working for you now? What you'd like to work on? Barriers? Or are you good?
For me, Dr. Jen, that was really helpful and a great reminder of why I need to make this part of my day.
Right. Well, and I think it's, I don't know, I don't know what, you know, inertia, you just get the ball starts rolling, especially I think at the beginning of the day. And I think if you don't make a clear intention that you're going to shift something, you know, you just keep doing the same thing every day, right? And the brain keeps doing the same thing. And so I'm glad that was helpful. But again, make it small. I think too, we think, oh, I just don't have time. I'm tired. When I watch TV or whatever, you know, pick one thing, you know, I'm going to get up 15 minutes earlier. I'm going to read this book. I mean, and maybe you start with something fun. Maybe if you're not meditating, maybe that's just too much to start right away. Maybe, you carve out those bookends into something that you already know that you like to do and that's easy. And then you sort of get the rhythm of that and then kind of layer things from there.
Good. That's helpful.
Yeah. Katie, anything you want to add? Are you good?
I'm good right now. I've been doing, there's the Deepak Chopra has the, I want to say 21-day free meditation that I've been doing.
With Oprah?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's about 20 minutes long, I would say. So I've been working to have that break up my day, which has been helpful as like an introduction.
Mm-hmm. Do you do that in the morning or lunch or?
Midday.
Yeah, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is a good idea, especially with us all working from home, because I feel like it's really easy to just keep working, not take a lunch break. I don't know. I think that's a good idea. And on two, and Kathy, you've heard me talk about this before. I talked about the evening wind down, but when it comes to meditation, if you can kind of meditate in that transition or have a pause or something between when you finish work and before you kind of hit dinner and family time, that's a powerful, whole different experience with the meditation practice. Like, meditation is in the morning is setting the intention, just setting the table, and at the end of the day, it's kind of taking out all the garbage and the trash. So, just giving you ideas. And on that note, I am working on another meditation challenge with Flow Yoga Studio in Arvada, and it'll be this month, and it'll be virtual. So the intention will be, we're working on like 5 days in a row where I'll talk about how to start a practice, have a discussion, pros, barriers, myths of meditation, and then give everybody a meditation to do. We'll meet daily. I'll guide you through at the end with a little yoga nidra, which is just amazing relaxation experience. So again, on a Zoom platform like this, we can all talk about how it's going, and hopefully, again, kind of get that ball rolling, get that momentum rolling. And if people can see a little bit of success in 5 days, hopefully they'll keep it going. We did a 14-day one, but we only met 2 times. And several people did start a practice even from that. So stay tuned. I'll talk about it on my weekly email stuff, but we're working on that.
Great. I'm interested. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, thank you for hanging in there with me in my maneuvering Zoom. And I will send you the AM and PM bookend worksheet for you to scribble on and play with.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Jen.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye, Katie.
Bye.
Bye.